Here we have the violins. We sell two main brands of violins, which is Cremona and Valentino. The Cremona in particular I really like selling. Their SV75 is an excellent starter model for violin. They're not crazy expensive, but they're really solid fiddles. I think everybody that I've sold one to has been very happy with it. Then they kind of have a few models up that vary in price and kind of get better and better as you go up. Valentino are fairly similar violins, price fairly similar. I think we do them both to give people a bit more kind of choice at certain price points. And then we have our old European violins, which are kind of the next level up if you're upgrading, if you're going through the grades at school or just want a little bit of a nicer violin, you go for a German or French violin. The difference is there, you have two main European options, which is French. They tend to be slightly darker and warmer sounding. And German violins, which tend to be a little bit brighter. That's not a hard and fast rule, and quite often customers will come in and say, oh, I want this particular violin, a French one or a German one or an Italian one, and then they'll have a go on a few and invariably find something from a different country that they like as well. So violins are quite personal instruments. When you play them, you literally have them pressed up against your jaw, so they're quite personal, and trying them out is the best way to figure out what thing you like. So the right amount of rosin to put on a bow, when you first get a bow, it won't have any rosin on it at all, and you have to spend a good couple of minutes just running the bow up and down the rosin to get it on. To figure out if you've got that right, you draw the bow across the strings, and if you don't have any kind of gaps in the sound or any weak points, that's when you know that you've got enough on. If you haven't put enough on, it will just sound a little bit wispy and you'll have points of the bow that don't make the right sound. Then after a while, you'll only have to top it up every so often. That could be every time you play it at first. That could be every kind of 2 or 3 times you play it. It could be every half an hour. But basically, you'll get used to the amount of rosin that you use. There's no hard and fast rule. Some people like to put loads on. They usually have kind of loads of white dust over their violins. But some people like a little bit less. Generally, it's a matter of taste, and it's also just a thing that's really difficult to quantify, so it's difficult to give like a right answer. You just do it until you think it sounds and feels right.
Is there such a thing as too much rosin?
In my opinion, yes. I don't know what the I don't know if there's like somebody who said officially there can be too much rosin. You can. It basically just means that you kind of, when you play, you have a cloud of rosin dust over you and rosin dust all over your violin, and I don't think it makes too much difference with the sound if you put too much rosin on. You just kind of end up with loads of dust everywhere. It can also maybe get a bit too grippy for some people, but I play like folk music, English and Irish folk music, so you kind of want that grippy roughness there. Violins and fiddles are essentially the same instrument. There's the old joke that the difference between a violin and a fiddle is £500. Fiddle is actually an umbrella term that includes the violin and several other things. When most people in this country, in the British Isles, say fiddle, they mean violin. Most bowed instruments are fiddles as well, so you've got the Chinese erhu, which is a spike fiddle. You've got lots of spike fiddles all over the world. Any smallish bowed instrument can be called a fiddle. But basically, violins are fiddles, fiddles are violins, at least in this country. The only thing that really matters is what style of music you're playing on it. But even then, for a while, I had a very good classical violin teacher who would call her violin nothing except the fiddle.